Ares, the original monster. Long before the Norse gods, before Olympus fell, before Kratos carried the weight of two pantheons on his back, there was Ares, the god who began everything. If Zeus is the ultimate betrayer, Ares is the original corrupter. Every tragedy in Kratos' life traces back to one divine force, the god of war himself. Ares isn't annoying in the trivial sense. He is maddening in the existential sense. He interferes with Kratos' free will, twists his aspirations, and reshapes him into a weapon. The most infuriating part is that Ares does all of this not out of necessity, not out of destiny, but out of his own ego. He wants a champion, not an equal, not a brother in arms, but a pawn aligned perfectly with his violent ideals. Ares sees Kratos' desperation during the battle with the barbarians and seizes upon it like a predator spotting a wounded animal. He grants Kratos strength, yes, but at the cost of his soul, his future, his humanity. And when Kratos tries to break free from him, Ares retaliates by committing the single most devastating act in the entire franchise, tricking Kratos into killing his own wife and daughter. This is where Ares transforms from antagonist to symbol, representing the worst kind of manipulation, the kind that weaponizes trust. He shapes Kratos into exactly the monster he wants him to be, and then casts him aside, letting him drown in guilt. Even after Kratos rejects him, Ares continues to taunt him, belittle him, and call him unworthy. He treats Kratos' grief as a joke, viewing him as a failed experiment. His final battle is a culmination of everything he stands for: arrogance, cruelty, and a complete lack of accountability. Ares' death isn't merely a victory, it is a declaration. Kratos will never again be a slave to a god's whims. But the scars Ares left never truly heal. He is the ghost that haunts every future mistake, every outburst of rage, every memory Kratos tries to bury. Ares isn't just annoying, he is the first domino in a chain of cosmic suffering, the god whose actions echo across entire mythologies. 6. Odin, the puppet master. If Heimdall is arrogance and Zeus is betrayal, Odin is something far more insidious, manipulation refined into an art form. No god in the entire franchise is as psychologically calculated as the All-Father. He doesn't simply overpower his enemies, he gets them to defeat themselves. Odin's greatest weapon isn't magic, ravens, or the spear Gungnir, it's conversation. He speaks in half-truths, subtle lies, and comforting reassurances. He doesn't yell or roar or use brute intimidation. Instead, he plays the role of a gentle grandfather, a wise scholar, a benevolent ruler. This facade is so carefully crafted that even the player feels uneasy around him, not because he is openly evil, but because he is too soft, too reasonable, too friendly. That's the genius of Odin. He makes manipulation look like kindness. He invades people's insecurities, promising them answers, safety, or purpose. He doesn't force loyalty, he seduces it. He worms his way into Atreus' mind by appealing to curiosity, ambition, and loneliness. He exploits Sindri's trust. He gaslights Freya for decades. He uses Thor like a blunt instrument, breaking the spirit of the strongest god through emotional abuse rather than violence. Odin believes that knowledge is power, and he believes every secret in the world belongs to him. His obsession with the mask, with prophecy, with controlling outcomes, makes him terrifying, not because of physical strength, but because of his worldview. Truth is something to hoard, people are tools to use, and relationships are negotiations. What makes Odin annoyingly infuriating is how he always talks down to everyone. He treats even his own family like disposable resources. Every conversation with him drips with condescension, as if he's humorously indulging children who don't understand the bigger picture. And yet, underneath his smiles and soft tone, burns an insecurity as deep as Zeus's. He fears losing control. He fears being wrong. He fears the possibility that he might not be the center of the universe. When Odin finally dies, it is not in a glorious battle, but in the cowardly flailing of a man whose empire of lies has come crashing down. His defeat is satisfying not because he is strong, but because he spent a lifetime believing he was untouchable. A puppet master losing his strings. Odin is not just annoying, he is manipulative brilliance made flesh, the god who wages psychological warfare with a smile. Thor. The reluctant destroyer Thor is a unique kind of annoying, not because he is arrogant or manipulative, but because he is trapped in a cycle that he refuses to break. He is an unstoppable force who hates what he has become, yet does nothing to change it. Thor is a walking contradiction. a god who wields unimaginable power yet acts like he has none. He is a man molded by Odin into a perfect instrument of destruction, and that submissive loyalty is maddening to watch. Thor is capable of leveling mountains, slaying giants, and shaking the world with a swing of Mjolnir. And yet, he bows to a manipulative old man who treats him like trash. Thor's annoyance comes from his fatal flaw, inertia. He despises the blood on his hands, but keeps killing. He hates Odin's control, but continues obeying. He resents his own reputation, but clings to it like a shield. He fears his daughter losing respect for him, yet never takes action to be better. Thor's first fight with Kratos is one of the most electrifying scenes in the franchise, but it also highlights everything wrong with him. He fights not with purpose or conviction, but out of obligation, out of a robotic following of Odin's orders. He mocks Kratos, drinks endlessly, and swings his hammer with the fury of a man punishing himself more than his opponent. And yet, Thor is not simply a brute. His dialogue reveals a deep exhaustion. He wants to be more than a killer, but he doesn't know how. Odin exploits this weakness at every turn, calling Thor useless, fat, unreliable, a disappointment. Watching Thor shrink under that abuse is painful, frustrating, and deeply annoying. You want him to stand up, you need him to stand up. But he doesn't until the very end. His death is one of the most tragic moments in God of War Ragnarok. Not because he was a villain slain, but because he was a broken man who finally chose to defy Odin, only to be killed seconds later. Thor represents wasted potential, an annoyance rooted in the tragedy that he could have been so much more. Thor is annoying because he is the embodiment of self-destruction, powerful enough to change everything, yet too emotionally imprisoned to act. Kronos, the titan of endless suffering. If there is one character in the entire franchise who represents pure, overwhelming, suffocating annoyance on a colossal scale, literally and metaphorically, it is Kronos. The Titan is not merely a boss fight, he is an ordeal, a mountain of misery and wrath, dragging the entire weight of the Greek saga's history on his back. Kronos is not just massive, he is history made flesh, the devourer of his own children, the tyrant who ruled through fear, the ancient monarch who believed prophecy could be digested and shat out if swallowed whole. But what makes Kronos so uniquely irritating is his bitterness. He blames Kratos for every misfortune he suffers, even though the Titans used Kratos as a pawn just as cruelly as the gods did. Kronos lashes out with venomous entitlement, acting as though Kratos owes him something simply because Kratos existed in the wrong place at the wrong time. During the battle, Kronos' voice booms with centuries of rage, painting himself as a victim while ignoring the mountains of destruction he caused. He is the type of character who commits atrocities and then cries foul when consequences arrive. His fight is intentionally grueling, slow, punishing, overwhelming, fitting for a Titan who exists as an embodiment of burden. Kronos is annoying not because he mocks or taunts like Hermes or Heimdall, but because he represents the ancient weight of cycles that refuse to die. His very existence is a reminder of the generational trauma that shaped the gods, the Titans, and Kratos himself. When Kratos finally kills him, it feels like the shattering of an ancient chain, the ending of a mythic curse. Kronos is not simply defeated, he is released and silenced, his bitterness finally extinguished. He is annoyance on a cosmic scale, slow, heavy, inevitable, and relentless,